Hey sports fans, and welcome to the Cavalier Sports Report. I am your host, Shawn Simpson, and joining me in the studio today is Tyler Cundith. Tyler is our Sports Information Director. Tyler, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Shawn.
So Tyler, you have been with the college for 25 years.
That's correct.
So tell me about what it was like getting here 25 years ago and what your job entails here being the Sports Information Director.
Well, lots changed over the last 25 years. Technology is one of the biggest things. We didn't have cell phones back then. We didn't have the big computers. My Apple computer was this small little box. Now I've got a screen that's about the size of this table.
It keeps growing each time you go there.
But the thing that's remained the same is the quality of the kids. From 1991 to 2015, it's just been a great place, a great athletic department, and it's just been outstanding.
Yeah. So on a day-to-day basis, or on a semester-by-semester, year-to-year basis, what does your job really entail?
A lot of what I do is I handle the media relations and the publications for the athletic department. When I was earlier in my career, publications were the main focus of the job. Now it's more, we still have the publications, but it's more an online version, and the web really is where most of the traffic goes to now, as compared to earlier in my career.
Yeah, so I know whenever I'm preparing to have an athlete or a coach in, you're the first person that I go and talk to find out, okay, what's this team doing? What's this player doing? What's this coach done? Because you're a wealth of information. You've always got the statistics. You've always got what they've got going on, what they've got coming up. How daunting of a task is that? Because we've got how many sports teams here that you
Well, now we have 15. We had 18 when I started. We recently lost men's and women's tennis and golf. But the stats part of it, I enjoy that. To me, I don't think that's difficult. Now, there's some sports information directors that's just they do not like dealing with statistics. I love records, so I'm kind of a stats nerd, kind of speak. So that's the fun part of the job and for me, that allows me to find a story because of those statistics. I might find an obscure record that one of the athletes did that nobody would know about, and that makes a story out of finding that information.
Right. So realistically, you're writing the history of Johnson County sports. You're recording the statistics of what happened, and you're writing the story of the season for these athletes. You're writing the story of what happened for them to remember it by.
Yeah, and when I first got here, there wasn't much history. A lot of the coaches either just threw their information away or took it with them when they'd leave, and so I had to really dig through old college newspapers, other archives that we had to really find some of the history and build on it. And then, so since I've been here since '91, all that history has been in place. And because of doing all that digging, I'm now kind of the history guru for the Kansas Jayhawk Conference. So I have done all the statistics and records for all the sports for the conference as well.
Yeah. So in your 25 years that you've been here, I was looking over your, just the 25-year history that you've been here and the number of championships of districts and conferences and national championships and players that we've sent to Division I, players that we've sent into professional ranks, and it's pretty mind-boggling. Is there any one player or team that really stands out to you?
Oh, there's several. One of the basketball players, the 2001 men's basketball team, with Chris Lawler and Jimmy Hubbard and that group really stood out. Nafis Ricks on the 2009 team. Then, of course, there's been so many great players on the women's basketball team. The softball teams, there were some great stories of some of the character on those girls. The baseball players, there's the track athletes. There's just every sport there was somebody that was fun to talk about and promote. And then, of course, I coached the golf team one year, and so those kids really hold a special part in my heart, because that was my team. And I still stay in touch with those guys 25 years ago. So there's so many different great stories and experiences I've had over these 25 years.
Yeah, and you've even had the chance to write about and record statistics on players that you've seen play here go on to other places that are now back here coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Bratton, for instance.
Yeah, and before her, Kelly Latondras, she was a player here and then coached here, and then she's moved on and still coaching. And then also the number of former athletes that their kids are now coming in and playing for our teams or being recruited. So, there's kids. When I started, they're athletes, and now their kids are here. It's really really different.
Yeah. So you're kind of you've been the steady guy for Johnson County Cavaliers sports. So that's really something. They're fortunate to have you. So let's talk a little bit about what has been happening this year, because most people watching, or most people at a community college, it's not going to be watched like Division I sports are. You're not going to have people who in a community are going to be huge fans of it unless you were directly involved in a parent or an athlete or a student here. So coming in, I was astounded at how richly talented and deeply talented these teams are, especially some of the women's teams. For instance, our women's volleyball team, they went 30-5 and 9-0. So talk a little bit about our volleyball team.
Well, they have a great tradition. It started with Susan Brown, then it went on to Jill Stinson, and then now Jennifer, and she's just continued to build on it. And this year they won the conference championship for the first time since 2010. They've been ranked in the top 10 all year. Like you said, they had 30 victories, and they're the number 1 seed going into this weekend's district tournament. And there's a good, strong possibility that they'll be moving on to the national tournament in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and so 9-0 in the Jayhawk D2.
Yeah, that's hard to do, especially when you've got Cali and some of the other schools now have stepped their game up, and to go 9-0 in the conference is really tough.
Yeah, and we had a chance early in the season to sit down and talk to Coach I and to Anna Bell, and that was early in the season, but they were already off to a great start, and they were looking forward to a great season, but you could tell they were nervous. I think now they're probably even more focused on where they're going.
Yeah, and if you looked at their schedule this year, one of the toughest schedules in the country too. They had ranked teams every weekend they were playing. So to be 30 wins and heading in, that's outstanding.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And our women's soccer team, we sat down with Sydney Alexander and Coach Schwab just a few weeks ago and talked to them. And same kind of thing. They were 17-2-1 on the season, which is outstanding. And Coach Schwab, he's an intense guy, but he really got some results out of things. So talk to us a little bit about the women's soccer team.
Well, again, off to having a great year. They head into the playoffs. They're the number 2 seed going in. They didn't get their win at Butler. They were hoping to win the conference title, but they're hoping that they'll get that opportunity again in the region championship and go on to nationals. Our soccer team's the leading scoring team in the country right now. We have 3 players that are in the top 10 in scoring. Our offense is top notch. Where they get into problems sometimes is teams pack it in and they can't move as much, and that limits their scoring opportunities, and that's what's happened the last couple of games. But Schwab's going to take care of that, and this team's going to prevail, and I think they're going to go to nationals this year.
I'm sure that whatever teams are doing to slow them down, Coach Schwab's going to have an answer for that. So we are going to be transitioning into into the spring. Basketball season is starting up, and our women's team, I know, had a national championship last year, and are, I'm sure, looking to defend that. And we had a chance to talk to Coach Conrad last week. Talk to us a little bit about how the basketball season has started for the men and women so far this year.
Well, both teams are off to a 2-0 start. The women played both their games at home. The men won both games on the road. So that's a great start for them. The women's team's ranked number 1 in the country, and they're looking to go get their 7th straight 30-win season this year, which has never been done in junior college basketball. So a lot of exciting times coming up for both these teams.
Well, that's outstanding. Well, I know that we are super excited to see it, and we're going to have the tournament here in the spring. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see our ladies defend their championship right here on our home court.
That would be outstanding.
That would be absolutely outstanding. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for coming
Thanks,
on the
Shawn.
show.
Yep.
It is. We'll be in your office many, many more times, getting all the information that I can get.
My door's always open.
Well, thank you so much. Well, that's it for today. And on behalf of the whole JCAF team, I'd like to thank Tyler Cundith for coming on the show. I'm Shawn Simpson, and this has been your Cavalier Sports Report.